This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today we're going to do something just a little bit different. I want to talk about something that I think is a prerequisite for being a superior practical lockpicker. One needs to be a student of locks because knowing what's inside of a lock before you ever start picking is oftentimes more than half the battle. And in accumulating a broad working knowledge of locks, I've found one book to be absolutely indispensable. Graham Pulford's High Security Mechanical Locks, an Encyclopedic Reference. And let me say, this book lives up to its name. It catalogs and explains the operating principles of a huge number of locks using words, pictures, and diagrams. The book's broken into several chapters on all different kinds of locks, including pin tumbler, wafer, sidebar, lever locks, magnetic, car locks, probably a few others that I'm missing offhand. Essentially, it takes decades of the author's knowledge and condenses it into a single book. Now, in addition to reading this cover to cover a few times, I also reference it fairly often whenever I encounter a new mechanism. Recently, I used it before shooting video 728 to learn what's inside of the supra-tidal core. Also, before I took the dive into picking lever locks, I reread the 120-page chapter on lever locks to make sure I had a firm grasp on the varying designs out there. In short, I think this is one of the most useful manuals for a lockpicker probably ever written. Now that said, I should be clear, this book doesn't really discuss the mechanics of how to exploit locks, but it does give you most of the information that you need to figure it out if you already have a solid background in non-destructive entry methods. So let's crack the book just so you get a general idea of what to expect inside. And of course, I open up to a page explaining a couple of defeat methods. Let's move on, explaining general terminology. Moving on, oh, this is an interesting lock with trap pins here. A Vinkhouse down at the bottom, some Dom locks. Moving on, Cava Quattro. As you can see, we have diagrams, oftentimes there's pictures, and the locks are explained as well. This is an Iseo that I actually featured some time ago, really interesting little mechanism. All kinds of really strange locks that most of you will probably never see. However, here they are and explained in a lot of detail, the actual mechanisms. Skipping ahead a little bit, let's see. Looks like we're in lever locks now. It's really just something that I could go through several times without getting bored. One of my favorite locks of all time, the Cromer Protector, an absolute masterpiece of engineering. Let's go. We have some Miwa magnetic locks, some really interesting mechanisms. Let's see, we're into wafer locks now and car locks. Here's the Tibby. I featured this one in the past. So, I think you're getting the idea that this is a book that you really want in your library if you're going to be spending much time defeating unusual locks. In any case, it's one of my favorites and one that I highly recommend. Now, a word about the price. If you look around, you can easily find it for about $80 to $100 online, which I understand isn't cheap. It actually kept me from buying it for a while, but now that I have the book, my only regret is that I didn't buy it sooner. So, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.